I've seen a flying saucer.
You've seen one?
Yes,
Well,
definitely.
Unidentified aerial phenomena.
To cover up our mistakes.
I've met people who swear they've seen Bigfoot.
Join us for a journey into the obscure.
You are now listening to The Wow Pod.
All right, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. We're going to try to go light, keep the news light today because everyone else has other unfun news, so we'll have funny news.
Yeah, and we are quarantining, so we're doing our part.
That's why you see us in different rooms.
Doing our part. And I have the grandbaby today, so...
And you have the sweetness.
So you may hear her giggling in the background.
Yeah, giggling, or you may other kids playing with her, which is just a note out, do take care to quarantine and help keep your family members, loved ones, neighbors, community, keep everyone safe as best you can.
Yeah, and if you're in a position to help others, do it.
Yep.
Just do it.
Help. Reach out to the little old lady that lives in your neighborhood that shouldn't go to the store.
Right. Or perhaps she's run low on supplies.
Yeah.
If you have some, share them.
You don't have to knock on her door and talk to her face to face. You can just leave a note on the floor.
Just drop them off.
Hey, my phone number. Call me. Let me know if you need something.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, we don't, there's a lot going on. Scariness, humana, but we're going to talk about fun. We're going to try to keep it more fun. Okay.
The things we have found for you today.
So in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
I've been there, yeah.
A woman is facing charges after police say she stole a car and then later tried to claim she was pop singer Beyonce Knowles.
And was it Beyonce's car? Is that why she had access to it, or?
Now this happened on the 11th.
Or she just thought by being a celebrity they would go easy on her.
Well, okay.
Or does she actually believe she's Beyonce Knowles? Or is she actually Beyonce Knowles?
Let me finish the story off for you.
Okay.
Serena Henry. She's arrested when an officer spotted a vehicle that resembled one that had recently been reported as stolen.
Okay.
And according to court documents, 48-year-old Henry ignored the officer's orders to pull over. Parked in front of him. Documents say that Henry told the officer that she was Beyonce.
So Beyonce doesn't have to pull over?
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe Henry.
Did she say, "Do you know who I am? I am Beyonce Knowles." Or did she say, "Yes, sir, my name is Beyonce Knowles"? I mean, there's a difference. Was she using her name to get out of the ticket?
How she got the car was she just saw the car with the keys in it, so took it for a joyride.
Okay.
She told the police that she didn't stop driving when she saw the emergency lights because she didn't feel like it. She is being charged with unlawful taking of a motor vehicle and concealing the identity and resisting or obstruction of arrest. Are you ready to see Miss Beyonce?
Okay, so now this will tell if she's actually Beyonce.
Let's imagine. Now, most people probably know what Beyonce looks like, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with Beyonce Knowles, yes.
Lovely lady, high cheekbones. She has, I think they're like really light colored brown eyes, right? Kind of brown eye. Long, her hair color changes a bit, but it's a lighter colored, like reddish colored hair. And then there is our Beyonce.
Is that what Beyonce really looks like without all the filters
Could
on
be.
Snapchat?
Did you see that Imagine All the People song that all the celebrities made?
Yeah.
They are missing makeup artists right now, and I'm not trying to dog them, but they are missing their makeup artists. But this Beyonce is a little more weathered. Her hair is not kept as well.
Perhaps this is pandemic Beyonce Knowles.
It could be. Now, I imagine you add some makeup and some contouring and
Some hair extensions, yeah.
extensions, fake
I'm
eyelashes,
seeing it, yeah.
and or maybe not. Maybe just go full on wig. You know, you could pull it off. I think.
I've not seen Beyonce without filters and makeup artists and all of that stuff. So
I would like to see what the officer said when she said that. I would like to have seen his face.
I would like to think that he
As
would
he's
have
collecting
said,
his jaw back up and putting it in place. And all right, lady.
yeah.
But I'm
Oh,
sure there's someone out there named Beyonce Knowles that's their real name too.
well, I'm sure, but that doesn't excuse you from that type of behavior. Like you stole a car, you
Nope.
refused to pull over.
Nope. Doesn't excuse it at all.
I mean, who cares what your name is, lady? Get out of the car.
Yeah. So New Mexico, Miss
Oh.
is bringing it. I wish.
Oh, who sings?
wish
No,
I could-
that's not. What does Beyonce sing?
Beyonce's not saying anything. At least not here. But
That lady is not me.
I wish her the best in the future. Now, my next
Yes.
story is yet sad and kind of, I don't know, a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Okay, I have a couple. I have a couple of comments on this, and we'll just go. I'll bring those up as we go.
Okay.
ISIS tells terrorists to steer clear of coronavirus in Europe.
Listen, you just can't get enough good help. You've
Well-
got to take care of your employees.
Now, obviously,
Companies could take notice of this type of behavior.
are they giving them paid leave? Now, obviously, they didn't send this message to the suicide bombers, but to shooters or intel gatherers, I'm sure.
Okay, so we got to understand the motive behind this. Are they saying because these people are likely going to die from the virus, so we don't want to waste our resources on them? Or are they saying
It could
so
be
you
like,
don't get sick and bring it back to us?
could be like, it wouldn't do any good right now anyway, so let's not do anything. Not going to change the outcome because, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like what's the point of them not going?
Yeah, but let me go through the article.
Okay.
The Islamic State has adopted the safety first. Statement again. The Islamic State has adopted
No, a little slower.
first approach to the coronavirus pandemic and advise its members not to travel to Europe. And this comes from the Homeland Security State.
They've advised. Okay, they have taken on a safety first.
I know.
We're talking terrorists who strap bombs to their own bodies.
Yeah, they've got TOSHA, Terrorist Occupational Safety Administration.
That's fantastic.
Oh, God. Imagine the council meeting that came out in. They're all gathered around in their robes.
You can't make this stuff up.
Oh, this world is okay. Now, in the latest edition of the terrorist group's Al-Naba newsletter, ISIS has a newsletter.
They have a newsletter?
They have a newsletter. It's called Al-Naba.
Why aren't we reading this? Why? I mean,
Uh,
you can read what their plans are?
I would say that if the CIA and Homeland Security isn't paying attention to this before, they had better be paying attention to it now.
They have a newsletter.
Yeah, the newsletter, and I'm sure the newsletter probably has like secret notes in it, like
like a crossword puzzle in the back that looks for entertainment.
Got
But
to
it's really
count the third word in every sentence, and it spells out the next target. I don't know.
What in the heck?
But it normally urges followers to carry out attacks on the West. Instead, it asked them to stay away from the land of the epidemic for the time being.
Well, they really do care, about their
I
people.
would like to see this newsletter. I just don't want to sign up for it in my name.
You make yourself a target.
Yes.
Oh,
I don't know how I would
gosh.
convince them that no, I'm not a terrorist, and I don't want.
I don't belong to the community. I just like
read it.
to read their stuff. It's
read
for
it
the
for
articles.
I read it for the articles. Funny shit.
I read it for the articles.
Maybe. Oh shit. What if I become a comic and I infiltrate them through having them put a comic strip in there?
You would go to jail for being a spy.
But I would be a spy for us against them through the comics. You could draw like you got Calvin and Hobbes type comics. Those are my favorites. But there's also that family one that's not very funny.
You know that Jeff Dunham ventriloquist? I've always
I do.
wondered if they find his terrorist guy funny.
I've wondered that too. Do you think maybe he gets a death threat every once in a while for Ahmed, the dead terrorist?
Yeah, like I've often wondered if they go, "Oh yes, Ahmed, we love Ahmed."
They gather around turn on Netflix to watch his latest special. Ahmed comes on, they start cheering.
Yay!
Or maybe
they're
like
naming
the
their
grumpy
kids
old
after
boy.
him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to know. Maybe it's in the newsletter.
So here we go. In a full-page infographic on the back cover, a list of pro tips instructs militants on how to stop the pandemic spread. ISIS members are advised to put trust in God, obviously, and seek refuge in Him from illness. And then they go on to cover your mouth when yawning and sneezing, and wash your hands frequently. Now, I do know in Islam, cleanliness is very important. They wash their hands and feet before every prayer and a lot of preparation. So that might help them naturally. The putting the trust in God, sure. I'm sure that's going to do a lot. But it's funny. They've got an infographic on how to train terrorists to survive the illness outbreak. Wow. That is
people we're talking about terrorists.
And it sounds like Al Naba has turned from its bolstering of ISIS, and all it's talking about is coronavirus as well. So it's everywhere.
I can't.
I've got a quote here for you. The obligation of taking up the causes of protection from the illness and avoiding them. Wow. So they're turning religious on hey. It's going crazy. Now part of Al Naba has a support group in China, the Uyghurs.
Okay.
The Uyghurs are Muslim Chinese people that the Chinese government has been cracking down on, and there's some pretty horrific stories coming out of what the Chinese government has been doing, but we don't know how much of that is real, how much of that is made up. China's tight-lipped on a lot of stuff, and it leaves a void for other stuff to be filled in. But if even half of it is real, we're talking organ harvesting, slave labor camps. We do know they have concentration camps for them.
For the Uyghurs?
Yeah, Uyghurs.
That's a terrible name. That's like very derogatory sounding.
No, that's not that's their name.
They've given themselves that name?
They're from the Uyghur region. They're Islamic groups. You got to go back to when the Silk Road was alive. Islam spread along the Silk Road because of these nomadic tribes were particularly good at navigating. At navigation. They were hired a lot to be navigators on ships. Because when you're in the desert, navigation becomes a complicated affair. So it's a trait that gets picked up. But yeah, the Uyghurs come in and there's horror stories coming out of it. All right, everyone, we'll have to take a moment for reflection while Betsy, it looks like she's making a bottle for a baby. All right, she's coming back. She's got to keep that baby satisfied.
She sees the bottle, so now she's.
Oh, yes, but anyway, so Uyghurs are they're Islamic Chinese.
Okay.
The baby. And
the government's cracking down on them because they're Muslim.
Because they're Muslim, and there also has been some. It's hard. Anything from China is hard because it gets filtered through what China wants the perception of the outside world. And Uyghur's not derogatory. It's Uyghur, Uyghur.
So it just sounds derogatory.
It just sounds like or something. But I'm sure in China they say weevil different. They probably say it like hot cereal or something. But anyways, I digress.
I can't believe that they've got a safety announcement.
I just think it's great. They've even got like an infographic on the back, like the Indian cops that were dancing, washing their hands. They've got an ISIS version of that, but in a pictograph, hands, It's sit right next to the how to care for your RPG. You're flipping the back pages. But I think that's
I'm on a call.
that is interesting. All right. Now Betsy's got a fun story for us. So that's that. ISIS is on vacation.
ISIS is taking a break, y'all.
Yep.
Okay, my story. I found it in Audi. It's an 8-year-old boy. He's a little guy. I have an 8-year-old. So he's in a hockey league, and he entered to win some prizes. So each team is responsible usually for putting together a gift basket or prize package together with a minimum value of $50. So they have this big setup and a paper bag taped in front of each of the prizes, and you drop in your little raffle tickets into the specific bag that you want to try and win. And then they pull raffle tickets and the winner, well, the 8-year-old won this particular prize. And as you can see, he's holding it in his hands. It's edibles, a lighter, a pipe, and he was so excited. He says to his dad, "Dad, I won chocolate." And the dad says, "No, there's bad drugs in the chocolate."
How do you convince an 8-year-old that chocolate is bad? How?
Yeah.
Like literally.
So the Dawson Creek Minor Hockey Association explained this, that the prize was meant for adults and never for children.
Where was this at?
This was in, let me see where it's at. It was, anyway, they go on to say, I'm guessing it's in Washington.
Okay, it has to be a state where that.
Yeah, right. So I'm guessing that it's Washington. But
That's hilarious. What if the kid would have torn it open and just started going and next thing you know, he's shot into outer space. Just
oh, so yeah, he won $200 worth of edibles and paraphernalia, and he's 8.
wow.
Yeah.
Imagine his face. No, you can't have this chocolate. The kid's probably thinking,
Son, the chocolate's meant for me.
you liar. My father
Yeah.
gave it to me so he can eat my chocolate.
Right?
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh. Yeah. It shows a picture of him. I imagine that's him in this picture here where it's a
yeah.
little guy holding a lighter and
Yeah, he's holding his winnings.
a pipe. And the
Yeah.
pipe looks like it has something in it.
It's probably got a dab in it because he got some edibles and paraphernalia that
A
they're
dab.
a dab of the cannabis, whatever oil,
Huh.
THC oil.
All right. Well, I'm not
You're not a connoisseur? Yeah,
No,
me either. Me either.
All right. That's funny. That's funny. So, recap. Beyonce Knowles is a car thief.
Beyonce.
ISIS
And ISIS are not.
is holding
what
the
you-
front, protecting their people from the coronavirus.
That's right. Like, it's not an all bad organization. They're taking care of their people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's.
And if you're going to do raffles
Do they have paid leave in terrorist?
in ISIS, I don't know.
No. Do they have a human resource? Talk to some lady about how Ahmed offended you the other day. You want to file a complaint? We need to go through some in-house mediation.
Seriously.
Oh, good heck. That's funny stuff. And then an 8-year-old boy wins the drugs. All right. So, on to the main show. I want to talk today about Valiant Thor.
Now, this is something that I was not familiar with. Since you brought it up the last time and said, I want to cover it, I thought, well, okay, I'll do some research. This is a weird story.
Yes. Now, there's a band called Valiant Thor.
Right.
There is a book written by an author that goes by the pseudonym Valiant Thor, which has to do a lot with Valiant Thor, which maybe it really is Valiant Thor that's writing the books. And he goes under a different pseudonym, like it'd be a pseudonymception, so that you think that there's a different Valiant Thor. But today I am reading off livingmoon.com, and this is a story by Harley Andrew Bird. He is the nephew of Rear Admiral Richard Byrd, who, correct me if I'm wrong, is the Rear Admiral who went to the center of the earth and saw the Nazi bases there. We will tell that story one day, but for now, we're going to go on with this one.
He went to the center of the earth.
Went to the center of the earth, and that's where the Nazis retreated to. They're building a base there. Not the dark side of the moon like Iron Sky, but yeah. Anyways.
Okay.
In mid-March 1957, an urgent message came from the Alexandria Police Department. The message indicated that 2 of their on-duty police officers had picked up an alien who landed some 14 miles south of Pentagon Boulevard. Now, I imagine that's the boulevard that the Pentagon sits on. I would hope so. If not, then
It's very misleading.
There's a lot of opportunities there, either on where the Pentagon was built or where the boulevard was placed. So, but either way, the occupant was transported to the Pentagon, hopefully on Pentagon Boulevard, but maybe not, to meet the Undersecretary of Defense, and then shuttled underground to meet with President Dwight D. Eisenhower and Vice President Richard Nixon.
Okay, so alien lands.
Mhm.
They collect him. He lands near the
He's like
Pentagon.
coming down
He's-
some cops on the side of the road, says, "Take me to your leader." Well, actually, what he would have said was, "Take me to your fourth in line to the leader." Let's start there. Not take me to your leader, but take me to the fourth guy. Take me to the fourth guy in the matter of military operations.
Okay.
Well, he went and met the president, the vice president. The meeting lasted nearly an hour, and then the alien visitor was put on VIP status and shuttled back to the Pentagon, where he spent the night in the Army reception office on the first floor of the concourse. The alien's name was Valiant Thor.
The alien said that's his name?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Valiant Thor. Now, let's lay this out real quick. Valiant Thor comes from Venus, and he is like the Venus commander of Venus Defense.
Okay.
And he came here. Okay, so Commander James is on duty at the security clearance and review for the branch officer of Project Blue Book. He oversaw the meeting through official channels and reported the landing and meeting of the space emissary, as he was labeled by the Department of Defense, to a government group of high military officials, including Secretary of Defense Forrestal and other scientific men, of which there were 12. They in turn made recommendations to the president and cabinet members, the CIA, FBI, NSA, and so on. The landing of Valiant Thor was perhaps the first documented landing of a human-type alien by military officials.
Okay. No craft. Just an alien.
Well, I imagine they went and got his craft later on. And some of the stories include where they put his craft and what kind of clothes he wore. But let's read on. We might get to that.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm trying to track with you.
Well, he thumbed him down. He landed in a secluded area. He didn't want to scare him, obviously.
So he lands, he leaves the scene of an accident. So he commits a crime.
We don't know if it was an accident. It might have been a successful landing.
Okay. All right. I'll give him that.
He came here as an emissary, not as a cow mauler or
He didn't suck any blood like the chupacabra or anything.
yeah, or a prober.
We don't know if he probed.
Well, he doesn't talk about it.
Okay.
And, I mean, I'm sure they didn't take shavings from under his fingernails, but
To check for previous probing.
for probing.
Gross. Okay.
Anyways, he contacted documented human-type alien military officials. He contacted an individual in the Pentagon who was an advocate of the UFO alien situation, Nancy Warren. Write that name down, Nancy Warren. She is an advocate for the. Did they already have this advocation set up? Was there an office that sat in a corner of the used forever? A person retires, another person gets brought on, that person retires, then brought on. Anyway, so Nancy Warren in turn contacted a minister who was also a PI and theologian, Dr. Frank Stranges. So we got Dr. Frank Stranges, Nancy Warren. There's a lot of things in here we've got to track down.
So Frank Stranges, that name's way too convenient.
Hey, well, he's a pastor. Anyways, I'm going to write those names down because we're going to chase them down later. Frank Strange's. Do you think the name drew him to the life or vice versa?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, so then those two met with Valiant Thor. And then they shorten his name, you know. They give him not a nickname, but they shorten it in a sign of love and togetherness.
To what?
Val.
Just Val.
Thor landed in Alexandria, met with the president, discussed the world's problems, and offer advice and counsel on how to deal with and eliminate them. Safe to say that the problems he was discussing were more complex than savings bonds. He indicated to Mr. Eisenhower that the world was in a precarious situation, and that if the world continued to proceed on a war footing, it would cause an economic imbalance through the world. Val stayed on Earth until 1960 and then disembarked back to his home.
He disembarked?
So
like they took him to a farm? Like they do puppies?
No, he disembarked.
Or
on a ship and disembarked like if the airplane leaves an airport.
They let him keep his ship. We're talking about the United States government, correct?
Well, yeah, it's his ship, and he became homeboys with the president. They were friends. He became
what?
He was an emissary. He was like the ambassador from Venus.
Now there are pictures on the internet that claim to be.
Oh yes.
Valiant Thor. He's a handsome guy.
Oh, very handsome.
He does not look alien-like at all.
No, skin tone is normal. Got a full head of hair. Tall, upright. Now there are stories that he wore a suit that you couldn't harm, that was impenetrable. That he had a suit. Now a lot of this comes from the book Stranger at the Pentagon, and they also made a movie of the same name. But he wore like a suit, like a unitard under his. You see him in all the time. That was like part. Well, it was a science fiction suit. It was bulletproof and knife proof, and it also fixed like injuries to the body. You know, it was an all-in-one unitard.
A body condom, so to speak.
Yes, a body condom, a super condom, you know. So Thor was about 6 foot tall, 185 pounds, with brown wavy hair and brown eyes. Huh? You know, he kind of had
he fit in. He just blended right in.
He had plenty of that oil stuff in his hair to make his hair shiny and hold in place. And he came here to talk about a lot of the crises going on. Like a lot of people tried to claim that this guided Eisenhower towards that talk he gave where he first mentioned the military-industrial complex.
What if Valiant Thor is a guy that's recently released from a psych hospital?
Mm-hmm.
And they bought it.
Do you think they would have went and saw his ship?
Well, what if he told them that his ship was invisible and they couldn't see it?
Or he wasn't recently released, but he had had 2 months. And before he had his break, he was away.
Okay, so in my travels, looking this up, there is a Valiant Thor fan club.
Oh.
And there is an Interspace Link newsletter that says if you're looking for current news about Valiant Thor and his crew, then subscribe to this Interspace Link newsletter. It's a monthly publication, that was started by Dr. Frank Stranges himself.
Okay.
And it's been in circulation for over 30 years. Now, his wife, Julianne Stranges, has maintained it since her husband's passing in 2008. And although there are different pricing plans, it costs more to be sent through traditional mail.
Well, yeah.
There's a newsletter that we can see where Valiant Thor is right now.
Oh, where is he?
Well, we would have to apply to the newsletter.
Okay.
We'd have to get the newsletter. So this is not a dead story.
No. Well, Valiant Thor supposedly lived at the Pentagon for 3 years. He lived there as like an ambassador would if you went to the country of ambassadorship. He lived there. He communed with the presidency and that. And he tried the message that I've read tried to stop kind of the war footing, not just the United States, but of the world.
So he was like a spiritual teacher for them.
Part spiritual, part other that. Venus was nervous about our use of nuclear weapons. There was a lot of
like the planet Venus, right?
Is there another Venus?
Well, we're not talking a group
Venus, Venus.
Called Venus. We're talking. He's claiming that the planet Venus is worried.
He was a commander in their defense forces. And I don't know. Maybe there's other alien life forms on other planets in our solar system that were hostile through Venus. So that's why they needed a planetary defense force.
So this was either a really cool experience with a being from another planet that can do pretty amazing things like shapeshift and travel to and from, and knows a lot of cool things, or this was a 3-year-long experience in safety protocols that need to be taken with the Pentagon.
Or the nephew of Admiral Byrd just kind of made it up for fun.
Yeah, but he just picked someone's pictures and was like, "This is him," and nobody's come forward and said, "No, that's not. That's my Uncle Ralph."
I've seen more done with less.
That's crazy.
I have seen a lot more done with less.
Why don't we create some of these interesting stories?
Because I don't think we're as
I'm not nearly as creative, obviously.
The Byrds were extremely well at writing. I mean, his uncle's story is very interesting, which we will have to do a show on that, on the Admiral Byrd story.
Yes.
The first man to fly over the South Pole.
And then to the center of the earth.
Well, while he was there, he stopped and went to the center of the earth, and there were still, dinosaurs, and the Nazis were building a base camp there, and there were aliens there as well that he met with, and the aliens were trying to. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I read that one, but I will jump on that one. Yes. How crazy is now? Here's some research I'm going to do in the intermittent. I should have done this research before, but with the coronavirus outbreak, where there has been a lot of hoops jumped through. I'm still at work at my full-time job, obviously, but I am also doing some preparedness actions at Grandma's house to make sure that her house, that she can continue to stay there and be comfortable, because she does not want to be in a home, and she makes that abundantly clear every time you
Right.
He is, yes, but we're doing some stuff there. So I admit I come into this show not as prepared as I wanted to be, but I think this is an ongoing thing. We're going to have to maybe once.
What surprises me about
Valiant is.
what surprises me about this is its staying power, because a lot of times rumors start, but they don't have the staying power that this does. There's still a fan club you can join for Valiant Thor.
But the staying power could just be this one person hangs on. I mean, look at the Warrens. Bill and Elizabeth Warren?
Yeah.
Look at them. They had a lot of staying power, and their stuff got knocked down repeatedly all the time.
And still talked about.
And they're still there and in the minds of, paranormal research all the time. So
it's crazy. I had never heard of Valiant Thor.
Valiant Thor, yes.
I mean, there's a Wikipedia page about him, for crying out loud.
Yes. Wikipedia page. There's a short movie made about him. There are 12 books about him. That baby talking.
Yes, he's talking today. Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. So, folks, I think we need next week is this event 201.
Yeah, so
that's current. We've got to make sure we have some very light news for that day.
Well, event 201, it's interesting because of the timing, but also because of the prophetic nature.
Yeah, that's why we light news. We need to with funny and nothing but funny. I want to hear about kids winning marijuana more. I want to hear about
if you hear of some really funny news, please send it to us. We need to lighten this up because
oh boy, yes,
we don't want to talk about the pandemic stuff. There's just nothing else being reported.
Yeah, you can get the pandemic anywhere, and if we're the only thing you listen to, we need to seriously talk because we're just a goof off and his sister, and
this is supposed to be fun and light.
Yeah,
the subject matter is light.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got a couple of shows that I'm working on. All of them are just light subjects, no death and dismemberment or.
Well, we need to jump back in and do some missing 411 again soon too.
Yeah, that's evolving. That's evolving for sure.
Well, that's an ongoing thing.
Yeah. Well, and they're making more categories as there's getting to more information's being added into it.
Down, type of location, type of how they're found, whether they're alive, dead, shoes taken off, undressed levels. So there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Interesting stuff.
We'll get Les in on the next one.
Big feet.
Yep.
Bigfoot.
Gotta have
single foot.
Hanging out. And also, I mean, there's a lot of that accounting that Bigfoot is tied in with the aliens. Maybe Bigfoot is a form of alien. Maybe that's why you just can't find him. And maybe we don't find Bigfoot poop because Bigfoot has a lavatory on the big ship.
Perhaps. Maybe Valiant Thor can shapeshift into a Bigfoot.
He may be able to. I don't know.
And has done for observation reasons. We don't know.
Depending on where he lands, yeah. When he goes to talk to the President of the United States, but when he goes to talk to someone in, say, Washington State, it's all alien.
Yeah.
All Bigfoot,
Yeah.
Could be, just according to the tree levels.
It's all about need, people.
Yep.
Assessing the need.
Yep, the need. Well, at least we had some fun stories today. Everyone stay safe out there. Take care of your family, friends, and neighbors.
Yeah. Just do your part.
Yep. We'll get through this.
Yeah. Just do your part. Don't pretend it's not happening. This ostrich head in the sand thing isn't going to plan out well for you. Just do your part.
Well, I don't want to make people more nervous than they already are,
Right.
treat it like it's, follow the advice, but, treat it like
Don't
it's
panic.
quarantine. But yeah,
Yeah.
don't panic.
Don't panic.
That brings on other negative effects.
Yeah, and have a great week.
Yeah.
Ay,
Great week, and we'll be back here next week. Maybe
Sounds
in the
good.
same room. Maybe we'll still be quarantined.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Have a great week.
Yes.